So today's video is going to cover how to grow your Depop sales, how to, tips and tricks on what I've learned through doing this. I'm not sort of saying I have the secret codes to how you can make more sales consistently. These are just the things that I feel like I've done, which have helped me to get me to where I am today, sales-wise. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video for you, share a few of those ideas and things that I believe can help you to achieve more sales on your Depop stores. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my first point is going to be stock. So technically, the more stock you have, the more chances you're going to have of selling items. That's just a fact. Someone who has 10 items for sale compared to someone who has 100 items for sale, the person with the 100 items is clearly going to have the better chance of selling those items. So having more items available on your store is just going to make the chances of you selling something a lot higher than if you have a small amount of items. So me personally, I've got around 200 items on my store at all times pretty consistently, and I would ideally like to have a lot more than that, but at the moment it is around consistently 200 items for sale at a time. And even with that amount, I wouldn't say I sell something every single day. Like some days I will go a whole day without selling anything, and that's fine. That's just the business we're in. Like, you're not guaranteed to sell something every day, because someday I'll sell like 5 items, and some days I'll sell 3 items, and some days will be 0 items, and those days are really sort of draining and you just get frustrated. But you got to understand that, some days your stuff's just not going to hit the right people, but when it does have those days where it hits the right people, it's all good and you feel great. But yeah, being in this line of business, you just have to understand that every day isn't guaranteed. Every day isn't guaranteed you're going to sell X amount of items. It just doesn't work like that. Aim to have a good amount of items in your store, and depending on what niche you fall into, make sure you have just like great quality stuff. And because it's hard, everyone's Depop shop is slightly different in a way. They all have their own vibe. I'd say that's my first point. Good quality and quantity of inventory. And I know people always say quality over quantity, but in terms of maxing your chances of getting sales, like, quantity is a factor you need to consider. Some people might have a different opinion, but that is just my thoughts on it. So take it or leave it. Point number 2 is social media. At the beginning, I pretty much quickly realized this was just something that I needed to have. Yeah, I don't think there's many sort of big scale Depop shops that don't have Instagrams. Like, I just think it's something that is a great tool to have some sort of constant feed of. I have my personal account and my Coppers account separately, so whenever I'm on the Coppers account, I'm just in this little Depop world and I'm seeing everyone else posting their stuff. And one, it's a great community. One, it's a great way to reach new customers, as well as sort of just projecting your brand image. And you can announce when there's sales on. You can announce when new stock's just gone up. Things like that. Because you can't really do things like that on the Depop platform necessarily. You can sort of advertise a sale within the Depop page if you put listings and stuff that aren't actually listings, but there's sort of pictures saying, hey, we've got a sale going on. But it's much easier to do something like that on Instagram than it is Depop. Going away from Instagram, there's all sorts of different social media avenues you can go down. So you can create a TikTok. That's been quite the on-trend thing to do throughout 2020. Create TikToks for your Depop shop. I personally have one, and I'm not going to lie, it is difficult to create consistent content on TikTok. I know it's great for organic reach. I can post a video with no hashtags or anything, and it will get 200-300 views, which is crazy. But yeah, that is something I'm sort of challenging myself to do this lockdown, is to create more TikTok content. And the TikToks can also just be uploaded to Instagram as a reel, and then so you've got one piece of content that is covering 2 platforms there, so you get it on TikTok and also chuck it on your Instagram Reels. That way you're getting like double the eyes on the piece of content, and you just don't know, but somebody might take a shine to that and then look on your page and then find the link to your Depop, and that could convert to a sale. So social media is important just for getting like as many people's eyeballs on your content as possible, because at the end of the day, that's all we're doing with everything really. We're just fighting for people's attention. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the documentary The Social Dilemma. That sort of just enlightened me to, advertising and everything. All we're doing is just fighting for people's eyeballs. And it's with the same thing with Depop. It's just like, if your item that you've listed and you've taken the time to picture and edit in a certain way, if that just hits someone's eyes at the right time and it's the exact thing they're kind of looking for, that's when it converts to the sale. And if you can sort of produce similar content through TikTok or Instagram that really resonates with someone and gets their attention at the right moment, you just don't know, but that can convert to more sales. So being active on social media is very important to me. It's something I constantly make sure I'm updating. Like if I go sort of a day without any sort of post or story on anything, like I do kind of kick myself. So yeah, if you're not on social medias and you're running a Depop shop, get an Instagram going, get a TikTok going. You'll get a lot more organic reach, and hopefully that will convert to follows on Depop as well as sales. Point 3 now, content. Now I kind of covered this in the social media bit, but producing sort of non-stop content is kind of very important. YouTube is a great way to produce content. Like I use this as more of a tool so I can just talk and share ideas about what's going on in my head, because the people, you guys that are watching this, you're obviously clicking because you're interested and hopefully you're getting some sort of value out of this video. But I can't exactly say the same stuff to my friends who have their own completely different world jobs, and everything I say doesn't necessarily seem interesting to them. So as much as they sort of help and support me and push me and everything, like I feel like the most value anyone's going to get from what I'm saying is if I make a video like this for you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. But yeah, just making content, especially TikTok. I know TikTok is a great platform and I just don't use it enough, and I need to, and I'm definitely going to try and push myself to make more TikTok content, because I do genuinely believe the organic reach on TikTok is got a lot of potential to sort of like convert to sales and just general interaction. That is step 3. Never stop creating content. Step 4 is advertising. Technically, like I'm always advertising, so when I make this YouTube video, it's technically me low-key advertising my brand Coppers, which I run on Depop. This is all my stock. Yeah, but there are other forms of advertising. So every time I'm sort of like posting content on TikTok or Instagram, that is technically advertising, as well as just keeping my brand image sort of this living, breathing machine where sort of content's constantly coming out. As much as I just want it to be like people that kind of vibe with the image I try and push and whatever, like it is advertising. Everything we put out as Depop sellers, it's just like we're trying to grab our audience's attention and drive them towards the shop, and then hopefully they see something they like and they buy it. But then there's the sort of paid advertising, which I'm yet to like dip my toes in. I can confirm the algorithms are correct, because I'm constantly getting sort of vintagey Depop shops getting promoted ads fed into my sort of Instagram a lot. I see them as a consumer, like normal people that aren't on this side of the world where they're sort of like the sellers, the general Depop user. If they have an advert like that, they're likely to sort of like click through and end up, I don't know, maybe buying something. But when I see it, I'm just like, so they've paid for some Instagram ads, and I've been selected in the algorithm to receive it or whatever. And it's interesting. I've gone through the process of to the point where it's like you choose how much money you want to spend on the ads, and it lets you choose the radius of where you want the ad to be targeted, and you can pick whether it goes straight through. If they like click on it, you can pick whether it goes to like a website or your Instagram page or your Depop shop. So yeah, I find it interesting. I'm just like not at the point yet where I want to like put money on it and see what happens. I don't know. Paid ads are just a bit of a grey area for me. I don't know if I believe in them. Like obviously they do work. There's no denying that they do work to a certain extent, and they can convert to sales and whatnot. You're constantly advertising just for your content, so don't get. I feel like a lot of people get sucked in and just think they can throw £100 at Instagram ads and that will turn into a load of sales. Like I wouldn't try. I'd believe in yourself a lot more before you go throwing money at sort of advertising. Plus, for me, I'd want like I'm very much a perfectionist, and sort of I don't think I've made a piece of content sort of like Instagram wise where I'd be happy for that to be submitted as the Instagram ad or that to go forward as the Facebook ad. Like, yeah, I'd want to be way more confident about putting something out there that I'm like, right, I've made this, now I'm going to pay for this to be shoved in thousands of people's faces. So, yeah, bit of a dodgy one with paid advertising, but yeah, before throwing money at advertising, definitely believe in yourself, believe in your brand, believe in your content, and just do as much as you can to get organic reach. Like, obviously, I'd say a good form of unpaid advertising is hashtags. Just explore hashtags. Strong recommend on a hashtag would be hashtag Depop Seller, because I'm always on that hashtag, like constantly just seeing what people are putting under that hashtag. I always use it. Sort of vintage clothing, Y2K aesthetic, Depop shop, Depop UK, Depop community, just to name a few off the top of my head. Like hashtags are solid free advertising. You just go on Instagram and like search a hashtag and just look at stuff under that hashtag, and yeah, hashtags are sort of a hack for free advertising, like because you're essentially putting out a post, but then that post is also going to like a broad range of feeds that sit under a hashtag. So it's like, here's your post, and then your post is going to this list of pictures, this list of pictures, this list of pictures, this list of pictures. So yeah, definitely get sort of savvy with hashtags. And finally, step 5, my last sort of tip to gaining more Depop sales is just being consistent. Being consistent with it is just super important. So in terms of your Depop shop itself, forgetting about social media and everything, staying consistent on there. So we're talking, if you can, post new items every day. I try and do that. I was going for like 3 items a day, but because of lockdown, I've gone down to 2 items a day. Just try and drop, like, if you can, drop 1 item a day. Just something new on your page that's gonna like hit algorithms and things like that. You just never know. Be very thorough with descriptions and stuff. Just get as many sort of keywords and whatnot in there. Depop have recently added a lot of like item specifications, so make sure you're filling all of those out just so you've got the best chance to sort of hit the search engine in the right way when people are like searching for specific items. Be sure to be bumping your items as much as you can throughout the day. Again, depending on how many you have, this can be like a fairly short task or a very horrible long task. Bumping like 150 to 200 items a few times throughout the day is not fun. Not fun. Like, it takes a good, depending on, how fast you're doing it, it can take around 20 to 30 minutes to do it, and it's very draining. I'd say at least 2 or 3 times a day, be bumping your items. I would advise sort of doing like a bump in the morning, maybe one towards like around the 5 o'clock sort of time when people are like finishing work, and then I'd say one more in the evening maybe. Evenings are definitely like the peak time for online shopping. So yeah, that's my tips for being consistent on the app. And then just don't forget, like for me, always have an Instagram story going on. Just whenever that 24-hour cycle goes, if you ever see your Instagram story doesn't have anything on, whack something up there. Maybe make some sort of backlog content like I do. Always have something going on in the story. If you can, bust out a TikTok. And when you do make that TikTok, make sure you're posting that to your Instagram Reels as well. So you're essentially doubling up your audience or people that are going to see that piece of content. So guys, that was my 5 tips for increasing your Depop sales. I hope you guys got some value from this. I feel like implementing these things in my personal sort of Depop journey have helped me progress a lot and helped me gain sales, especially the Instagram. It's been a lot of fun creating that, building a following on that, and I genuinely feel having all these like content outlets does increase and drive up your sort of sales. Again, I'm not talking like I'm a professional Depopper. I take everything I say with a pinch of salt. This is just my perspective on how I've got to where I am today. One thing I've always said throughout doing this is never think I'm sort of reaching the sort of end goal. I'm just constantly thinking, you know, this is just the start. This is just the start. And looking back, I have come a long way, but now every time you think you've come a long way, just set whatever position you're in as sort of like the new starting point and think, how can I grow even further? That's how I've been sort of looking at it, because I sort of was looking at these milestones as like, you know, euphoric moments. So like hitting 100 sales was like massive for me at the time, but then now I've gone like way past that, and it's like, 100 sales didn't seem like that exciting looking back. But yeah, always just whatever your point you're at, just say like, this is the beginning, how can we take this even further? And that's pretty much how I've been sort of like hyping myself up throughout doing this whole Depop thing. So yeah, at the start I couldn't imagine I'd have these 2 massive rails in my room full of stock, and now that's just the new normal, and now we continue. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Please do go check out the Coppers Depop. That'll be linked down below, as well as my Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube. If there's any more sort of videos you want me to create, more than happy to do that. I've got a few ideas for videos during lockdown, because yeah, we're in lockdown, so I'm going to be making a lot more content, as I said. So should you. I want to see the content. Tell me your Depop down below. Tell me your Depop Instagram down below. Tell me your Depop TikTok down below. I want to see it all. Keep on grinding, everyone. Lockdown's going to be tough, but we're all going to get through it together. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.